Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. This video we're going to continue with our subtraction strategies. On Monday we had learned 5 different ways to show your work on a subtraction problem. Now we're going to see those same things, but when they give you a story problem. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the story problem for today. We're gonna see what they're asking you for, what's going on in this story problem, and then we're gonna work on it little by little. Now we're gonna start off with Mr. Ricky. Now it says, Mr. Ricky has $674. He spent $254 on a new cell phone and $38 on pizza. How much does he have left? Okay, now they're trying to figure out, after he has spent on a phone, after he has spent on pizza, how much money does he have left? Now definitely we're always looking at keywords. Left automatically is telling us subtraction. Now we have our numbers. We have 674, 254, 38. All of it is money. Okay, so now we have 3 numbers. We're trying to figure out how much is left from that total. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this or tape this right behind us so that we can always keep reminded. What are we? Let me put it right over here. Okay, in case we need to look at it right there. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a strip diagram of the model, because I want to know what am I looking for. So when we make a strip diagram, we're looking for the whole and the parts. Now in this case, last time we had 1 total and 1 part, but now they gave us 2 parts and the total. So what we're trying to figure out here is, what is the amount he has left from that 674? So we know we have a total. We're going to subtract this amount. We're going to subtract this amount to find out that last part. So the first thing I'm going to represent is a strip diagram to show what am I doing? What am I looking for? I'm looking for that missing part. Now we could subtract in parts the way that we did it on Monday. So I'm going to rewrite my number, 674 minus 254 minus 38. When we're subtracting in parts, we have to remember that that 2 represents 200, the 5 represents 50, the 4 represents 4 ones, 3 is a 30, and the 8 represents the 8 ones. So when I rewrite my numbers below, I'm going to subtract each place value 1 at a time. So the first is the hundreds place. I have 200 here. I don't have anything here. So I'm going to subtract 200 from 674. So then 6 take away, I'm sorry, we start from our ones. 4 take away 0, just bring down the 4. 7 take away 0, bring down the 7. 6 take away 4. 6 take away 2 is 4. Okay. That we have, I'm sorry about the announcements. We're working and listening at the same time, and so we have that 474. Now this number, we're gonna go ahead and move it over like last time. We have 474. Okay. Now in this case, that 474, we're gonna go ahead and take away the tens. So we have 50 here and 30. We're gonna go ahead and put those together. That is an 80. We're gonna take away 474, take away the 80. Okay, so then 4 take away 0, it stays with 4. 7 take away 8, not possible. We're gonna borrow from the 3. 4 becomes a 3. 1. 17 take away 8, you have 9. Now we have 394. So the last thing that we're going to be looking at now is to take away the 4 and the 8 from 394. So then 394, take away 4 plus 8 is 12. So we're going to take away 12 from that last number. Okay. I'm sorry about those announcements. We're here working, cleaning up, adjusting everything that we can. 4 take away 2, 2, 9 take away 1, 8, 3, you move it down. So now I have 382, and this is subtracting in parts. Okay, you subtract the hundreds, the tens, and then the ones. The way I got 12, I added the 4 and the 8 together to get that 12. Okay, to subtract it from that 394 that we got from over here. Now, the next way is the number line, because remember, Ricky has $674. He spent first on a new cell phone, then he spent again on pizza. We're trying to figure out how much he has left. So when we use a number line, we're always going to start on the right. So we start off with our total amount. Now the first large amount he spent was that $254. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract that first. I'm trying to subtract $254. So when I do my first jump out of the $254, I'm just going to take away $200. So then I say $674, take away $200, it's $474. When I do my next jump, I'm going to take away 50 because we have 254. I already took out the 200. Now I'm going to take off 50. Minus 50. So if I say 474, and I can do the math right underneath there, but you can't do it in your head, you write it underneath. There's no problem with that. Okay. So if I take off 50 from 474, I have 424. That's my new number, 424. In my next little jump, the only thing I have left from 254 is the 4. So I'm going to put minus 4. So what I did in my number line, 424, take away 4, my new number is 420. But wait a minute. Sometimes in these story problems, especially when you have multiple choice responses, they're going to put that 424 because they're going to know you're going to forget about how much he spent on that pizza. So then you're thinking, oh, he spent $38 on pizza. So we have to make sure we subtract that 38. So I'm going to subtract 30 first. So 420 minus 30, we have 390 now. 420, take away 30, 390. Now 390, we'll forget about those last $8. We're gonna take away 8. 390, take away 8. 0, take away 8. We can't do that, we're gonna have to borrow. The 8 becomes a 9, that becomes a 10, okay? So then we're left with $382 on my final thing, which is a good thing because when we subtracted in parts, we got 382. Now, moving on to the place value blocks. Remember, when we use place value blocks, you're only going to draw out that big number, the 674. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600, 7 rods, so that's 70, and 4 dots. Now, what we do when we subtract place value blocks is we exit out the other two numbers. So the first one I'm going to X out is the 200 from the 254. 1, 2. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off 5 from the rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to take away 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's one done. And so we see what we have left. 1, 2, 3, 400, and 1, 2, 420. That's all we have left. 420. Now I have to remember, I have to take off 3 and 38, which is 3 groups of 10 and 8 ones. So I'm looking here, I only have 2 groups of 10. So I'm gonna have to borrow from this one. We have to remember that 1 square is equal to 10 rods. So I'm gonna go ahead, circle one of them, move it over, and I'm gonna add my 10 rods. And usually I like to do this in a different color so you can see what we added, what we moved over, and we get to mark it off now. Okay, and then I'm gonna see that I'm gonna need 8 ones and I don't have any ones. So I'm gonna borrow one of these ones and move it into dots. Remember, 1 rod is equal to 10 dots. Okay, so now we have the same amount, okay, but now they're just regrouped in a different manner for us to be able to subtract 38. So now let's subtract 38. 3 rods and 8 ones. And let's see what we have left. That's not marked off. So I have 1, 2, 3, so that's 300, 310, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82. So we got the same thing from our number line, the same thing from our subtract in parts as well. And the last one, just to double check our work, is the algorithm. Okay, we have 4 take away 4, 0, 7 take away 5, 2, 6 take away 2, 4. Okay, but we can't forget about that pizza. We have to subtract those $38. 0 take away 8, not possible. We have to borrow. 0 becomes 10. 10 take away 8, we have 2 left. 1 take away 3, not possible. We have to borrow. 1 becomes an 11. 11 take away 3, 8, and we bring down the 3. 382. So as you can see, when we're looking at this, Mr. Ricky, how much money does he have left? He has $382 left. Okay, so I'm gonna give you Mr. Ricky again, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change up the numbers. You go ahead and choose 2 different ways for you to show how much he has left. Okay, 2 ways Mr. Ricky has left. I'll take a picture of it, send it to you in Class Dojo. Have a wonderful day, an amazing day. Bye.